What's up with Elon in the politics space?
He's the head of Doge.
Dogecoin?
Doge. No, so it's weird how that is. I thought they were linked together,
Oh,
but Doge stands for like Department of Government Efficiency or some shit like that.
he's
He's the head of that, which is like he's in charge of um, trimming government, like trimming, because there's like so many government like employees that are getting money that shouldn't be. They what they do is not worth what they're paying, getting paid, or they're not really providing any type of benefit to the government. It's just like an additional like. I think they already let go of a shit ton of people already. They
I was
fired
surprised because I kept seeing him over and over, and I'm like, what is Trump so? I mean, Elon so involved? Why?
Well, Trump appointed him as the head of that because him and Trump had conversations about like eliminating, saving tax dollar money and the making the government more efficient by keeping track of how everything is being spent and where money goes and how they're spending it. And they've been finding a lot of shit that's fraud. That there's people are not they're miss they're not managing the money properly and shit's not being kept. Like there's no track of how shit's getting spent, and so
then
money's missing and shit. Millions of dollars here, $1,000,000. So by keeping everything in check and eliminating all these people who work for the government that don't really provide anything beneficial, he's just firing everybody. But he's not just saying like you're done. They'll give them time. He gives them like, I think there's a designated time. I think it was like 6 months to a year or whatever, or they give them a check or whatever for a little bit while they figure out what they want to do. But they give them like a year's worth of money just to like figure out for the transition to something else. It's not just like you're done, get out of here.
They've been making a lot of money too. But to me, it's weird. All of a sudden, he's involved with politics.
He's just trying to make it more efficient, supposedly. Now, how he's doing,
it's weird because it seems like that's out of his expertise.
Well, it just comes down to managing, like.
Because how the hell does Trump? Well, I mean, Elon have so much time.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's not running these companies then.
No, I think he's coming in and for like
he's just coming in and probably checking, looking them over.
Yeah,
he's not really running these companies. Or ideas. People give him the credit he is. So it's weird to me. It seems like he's doing too much. Like it seems like you're doing too much that I question your ability to focus on on everything, like going to Mars and doing all that stuff. Going to Mars, it always seemed like a tight idea to me. And looking at Elon, I always thought he was hella smart. But now, and I used to think like he was a like just normal good person. But like everything I've been seeing lately, it has me skeptical on maybe he has a hidden agenda. Because once you get involved, politics is a dirty business. And I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying that my suspicion, that little, you know how when you're sneaking around the video game and the character sees you and then it's like that alertness? They got that on you now.
Well, you don't know 100%.
I'm not saying he is involved in some shady stuff. Yeah. I'm saying that it's
your eyes starts opening.
I'm starting to look at him a little bit different as far as like, okay, we got to look into him a little bit more because it just seems weird. Like it seems unnormal now. Like all this going on. I used to look at the chip in the head differently. Like, oh, that would be cool. Now I'm like, nah, I don't like the idea of it. I don't think it's good.
You wouldn't. So you're saying you wouldn't do it? You wouldn't do it just on of like concern for the hidden agenda thing, or just because of?
I need more info now. Like I wouldn't have said that I would have got it myself. I always said that I needed to see it in place, but it just seems like we don't know what's going on. It seems like he picked a side. When you pick a side, you have relationships and businesses and stuff like that you don't want to break down because now you have built relationships with certain people who you might be so and so clean, but you're involving yourself with dirtiness.
There's probably no way of not involving yourself.
Yeah. And then now those people are saying, hey, do this for me because we're friends and then you start getting slowly dragged into that world. That's why I'm saying that when you involve yourself in politics, it's dirty. Like, so it already raises the concern bar for me on everything. And it's like, what, like, I know he said like he wanted to go to Mars and everything, um, within the next what, like decade or something. Didn't he say that would happen like soon? He would throw a ship out there or
Well,
something, a rocket.
yeah, I think he said something about like 2027 or 2032 or some shit like that. They will
I heard
spend their
people arguing that that's a waste of money and resources.
well,
Like, what are we doing spending millions and millions of dollars trying to get to Mars when we haven't even fixed Earth? People are starving here. People are suffering here, and we're spending millions and millions and millions of dollars. I mean, dollars to go to another planet empty, where you would have to rebuild and spend millions and millions of dollars again, and when we haven't fixed here.
And that's a fair statement, but I feel like there's been so much. If you look at ever since the whole moon race with Russia started, so much technology that has grown, has that all that competition, that chase for exploration into the stars has led to or birthed a lot of this tech that we have. The whole reason why they discovered certain shit is because they were pushing so hard to go up to space, which gave them the technology for like.
Yeah, but tech is now pushing itself because consumers are heavily purchasing it. That's why there's a new iPhone every year. It's not because we need a new iPhone of the year. It's because the money's there. The money has so many people will buy it that's why the advancements with computers have gone up. That's why these chips are going crazy with graphics cards, with everything, because everybody, the consumers want it. They don't want last year's model. They want this year's model of whatever device they have. So that's why the tech funds itself.
Yeah, tech does fund itself, but new tech, undiscovered tech. That's what there's a higher probability of them inventing new tech that will that would 10x whatever this shit is in the future. That's the thing. But I do understand that it seems unjust to spend all this money and all this time and resources on something that you don't really see any benefit to it now. But imagine if we don't start now.
Well, the whole point was to go to Mars in an attempt to save the human race because of destruction here might happen.
I mean, it's not unrealistic.
I know, but it seems different now because that means we have a problem as humans, right? But other than meteor hitting Earth, which they claim one is coming, and it has like a 5 to 8% chance to hitting us, in like the next couple of years, supposedly. But how many times have we heard that? It like things have changed to me on my idea of the world ending, because I don't think the world's gonna end unless God wants it to end. So I don't believe a meteor is gonna end it.
But maybe the world won't end, but like nuclear war is a possible
nuclear war
thing.
is probably the biggest possibility, and the biggest possibility of human extinction, wiping everything out. I believe that more because it seems likelihood. That's a control we have. A rock coming from space is not really a control we have. It just happens to come in our direction. Some people don't even believe in dinosaurs. Some people don't believe in nothing. Some people don't believe that the Earth spins.
And we're just things that
Bryce Mitchell, you seen the UFC fighter who he was talking about? He thinks Hitler was a good guy, and he said before he started killing people and doing drugs and stuff. That was a crazy statement, And then Dana was like, "This got to be the stupidest guy ever," and like heavily disagreed with him. And then Bryce Mitchell also said that he believes the Earth doesn't spin, and I'm like, a lot, even with the flat earthers, and I guess like, are we really doing? Is the average person really doing, the research to determine that they're spinning? No, but we trust certain scientists and we trust their expertise in that field, and not even one but multiple claiming, yeah, motherfucker, the earth spinning and this happening.
Well, when they break it down in the video and shit, it makes sense. It makes sense, but I think everyone should have the freedom to voice and believe in whatever they want to,
Yeah, I agree to
without having to hate these motherfuckers. Like, hey, I hate this fucking like the whole him saying that he's a good person. Shit, it's kind of crazy. But I haven't looked into what Hitler was doing before the whole shit. Because imagine Hitler before, if Hitler died right like before all that killing shit. I have no idea what type of person people would look at. If you look at his life story, what that meant and what it did or whatever. I'm not sure if you would draw the same conclusion as him being good or not. I have no idea. I have never looked into it. But his speeches, you could tell his speeches had hella energy. You seen the speeches where they converted into English. Those
No. Oh, I believe they said he was on drugs though most of the time.
No, this oh yeah, before the speeches or during the speeches.
Yeah, because he was so lacking energy. Let me hit a bump real quick, and then he'll wake up. Yeah, wartime. You know, so
Yeah.
I think, was it the Germans? I seen where they were like, hey, this war is going to determine the future. Like, sounded like some Killzone shit. Like, it's going to determine the future of our nation or their nation, and one of us is going to fall, something along those lines, but it's not going to be us. And the way he said it had all these motherfuckers hype and shit. But it's crazy how you can gather that much people towards your message and have them execute it like nothing, right? Have all these
No
people
one
just
question it.
murdering people, going into their houses, looking for them even underneath the basements and everything, in the crevices, in the little holes and shit. Oh no, just to get them and kill them. You know, over his belief of like wanting to eliminate all Jews. And they argue that, oh, Hitler was a Christian, but he clearly wasn't. If he was a Christian, he wouldn't be doing the stuff he done. He's false flagging out here. A lot of people use that. Oh, but Hitler was a Christian. No, he wasn't.
I wonder who Hitler's probably up there as far as like one of the worst persons who like did some horrible shit. But there's probably even worse.
There's a lot of horrible people.
Attila the Hun, that dude, is Attila the Hun?
I don't know what that is.
The Genghis Khan.
Oh yeah, he was a bad motherfucker too.
They were and you know he's the one that invented like the mail thing. You know how people get mail and shit. He invented that shit when they would get mail. Like he would send
like the post office type shit.
Yeah, like they credited him for like coming up with that shit.
I didn't know that.
But how they would cut people's heads off and then launch them in, like when they would siege something, like they would siege a city, they would set up camp or whatever, and all the people that they had beheaded in the past, they would launch their heads into the city, and I'm like, shit, crazy. He'd have like 50 baby mamas, crazy. And you know I heard the story of the whole reason why he became who he was because he had to unify the whole, how they got so like deep, and there was a shit ton of clans, right? And he was part of one clan, and he was the first to unite all the clans underneath him, and that's why they were so deep when they would fuck shit up. That's why they were so strong, because they united. And before, they would always fight amongst each other. And the whole reason why he set out to unite everyone was because a dude had come in from a different clan, had come in and stole his girl and like kidnapped her. And he had to find allies to go back and like get her back. That's how he.
And he's like, hey, we got to stop fighting because people are taking my bed. Yeah.
No, well, he wanted just first to go like save his girl, whatever. I think she died. I don't remember the whole story, but that's what first got him into trying to unite people, because he needed help to get his girl back. And then he's like, fuck it, I'm running this shit.
But he just started going crazy and invading and taking territory.
Yeah, and they just got good at it. Nobody was fucking him up like that. He's like, hey, we're good at this shit.
I know. And then he sent messengers to these islands.
Like he killed a crazy amount of people though. It said like I think he said the 3% or some shit. Forgot what Joe Rogan has said. 3% of the population or some crazy shit like that. A shit ton of people. And then he was having so many kids too that it's like he got a crazy amount of, like, if you look at his lineage or whatever. So now,
who was the person? I don't know if it was a samurai. Who was that person that he was a leader and when
Abraham Lincoln?
No.
He was a samurai.
Yeah, he like he was a leader, and when he died, they went and they buried him.
That was King.
Because they went and they buried him. They wanted to keep everything a secret so his enemies couldn't pick up his body and I guess mess with it or do something like that.
It's because they buried him with a lot of his treasure.
Yeah, so they even the people ended up dying. They killed them too, and one dude killed the other dude, and the last dude killed himself. That's crazy. I don't even know what the word is. Loyalty to do that.
Yeah, because he had a crew. He had people who went and buried him, and then had another set of people that go and kill all the guys that buried him, and then those guys were meant to have some other guys to kill them or some shit like that.
The last guy killed himself,
so that there's no way for them to know where the hell he was actually buried. That was Genghis Khan.
But like, why would they even do that? Like, why would you be like, "Yeah, all right, I'm along with the plan"? Other you just didn't have no choice.
But yeah, I know, and they probably didn't know. But also, like, man, like the loyalty people have for that. Like, I'm about to kill 100 people after you die, just so that your grave is safe, so nobody knows where the fuck they buried you.
And we still don't know to this day.
Mm-mm.
People have been looking.
So
it worked then. So it was smart. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of horrible stuff in the world, and I've been like running into a lot of stuff, like the Instagram stuff. You've seen a lot of that buggy or whatever. Had you seen a lot of violence on a couple of days ago? Just murder, and then like seeing documentaries, crazy documentaries of America abusing other people overseas and crazy amount of stuff like that. And then you start looking, and I was seeing so much of it that it was starting to change my perspective a little bit. You know, and I'm like, damn, like the world's evil, like whatever. And I was like, whoa. And I noticed it. I was like, yeah, I need to chill the hell out and like stop watching all this stuff. Not because it affects me, but it just affects my point of view on the world. Like, because I already know the world's evil, but it's all you can look at the evil all day and sit in evilness and sadness or whatever. Like it's just crazy. Or you can just look at the positive and the light of life, and that's where I want to be because I'm alive. So that's the way you're supposed to be. But when you see kids dying in the Ukraine war, and I see there was a documentary I remember I was telling you about kids dying, and you know it being filmed by journalists and no censorship. I love that, and not because I love to see the graphicness, because you get to feel it. I'm not there, you know. I'm not there. I'm over here in the States. You know, I have the luxury of just being here, eating wings and chilling, and don't have to worry about a bomb dropping on me. So, but when I see that, you know, it's like it shows you the harsh realities, because you always hear like, yeah, 3 people died from a bomb, but it's not the same when it's documented and you see the people and you see these people. It's a real family. They have feelings. They want to watch their kid die in the hospital with lack of supplies, and then eventually they're like, hey, yo, we can't save him. And then he dies, and then you see them just crying over his dead body. All like, you see everything from the front to the back. I'm like, yeah, this needs to happen because war got to be documented on how evil it is. But it seems like no matter how much we see that, humans don't care. You know, we always resort back to violence.
It comes down to the leaders, though. Because the leaders are the reason why the war happens. And then everybody else just gets dragged into it.
And we just follow along, though, ever since the beginning of time. Ever since people started getting together and forming communities and they got to be a king, you know, who rules and shit. Oh, and the king says, let's go to war. And everybody just out of pride and because you're from this tribe and they're from that tribe, well, fuck it. Let's go because this person said this about our king or something like that. And it's just how it is. Nowadays, it's like, it's pretty wild.
Well, propaganda too. They'll like the whole like
these people don't love us. These people hate us.
You look at Bush and them invading into Iraq just because they wanted, like, after the Twin Towers and shit, like someone I can understand why everybody would rally like, hey, somebody got to pay type shit. I understand, but it's like I don't think invading and all that shit really ever helped anything. Like, look, we just disrupted the whole Middle East and fucked everything up, and all the people we killed, it bruised, hey, all the new generation of all the kids that grew up fatherless and shit, you're gonna be, oh, fuck the US. They killed my dad.
And growing up here, huh, you never hear America painted in a bad light. Never in school, never anywhere, right? Because we're in America. But like, America has done some horrible things, to where it justifies other people's hatred towards us. Now, I never understood on like, I hate America, I want to kill the average civilian. I never understood that. I guess it's just a way to hurt something from them.
I think it's the same thing. It's just because you're part of something that they hate. They'll hate us because you're part of them. You're part of America. But it's like a lot of shit that America does, Americans don't even know that's happening.
Yeah, Americans don't know.
They don't even know.
And that's the crazy part, because if you don't educate yourself or you don't look into it, you will never know these horrific things that they do. You hear these Marines saying they committed war crimes and all these things, right? And it seems like, the majority ain't going to speak up on that, right? Like, they're not going to talk about the bad things they did, the innocent people they killed. Sometimes they would kill people just because they were angry because one of theirs got killed. A Marine died today, and we're just angry. So anybody that like fucking, I think even a little bit, because if they give you permission to shoot, sometimes they say, hey, shoot anybody you think is a threat. Who gives a fuck? You just say, I thought he was a threat. You killed a normal dad from somewhere.
Going to work and shit.
Yeah. And it's crazy.
Yeah. It's never good. War just seems like it's just, and it's going to get worse. I feel like as tech improves, because it's like the tech has made it way easier to kill somebody else. Bombs and missiles and shit, and drones.
Well, the worst part is children. When a grown man dies, I'm like, yeah, that still sucks, right? But you're a grown man, right? But the most innocent thing in the world is children. And when children die because of what our dumbasses are doing, our adult decisions, because we're fighting over territory, money, whatever it is. When a child dies, babies die. That's like, okay, we've gone so far that if there is a God, you can imagine his wrath. Right? Because you're killing children.
I know. And they probably turn a blind eye to it. Like, they just hear it. You're not seeing it.
I think it's a mentality that this is the cost of war. And I understand that. I understand that. But still, like, you got to really evaluate what's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
what are you getting from this war? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's different. Like, for if somebody's on the defense side and they're just defending themselves and they have to do some certain things, it doesn't make it okay. It's still wrong, but it's different when you're on the defense than offense.
And all those lives, like, let's say Ukraine and Russia, all those lives that they lost, I think, what are the casualties? It's got to be like 70,000 people or some shit on each side. Some crazy shit like that.
It's way more than that. I think it's a lot.
That is a shit ton of people. Like, are those lives all together? Let's say it's 200,000, 100 on each side, 100,000 casualties on each side. Is that really worth, like, where the fucking border is? Like, if Russia wants 10% or whatever fuck, Ukraine is not. I feel like Ukraine is not in a position to a strength. Like, they should. I don't know how to play it, because it's like you don't want to continue giving up land forever. Because if you give a little bit, they're gonna want more and more and more and more. But it's like you're losing hella people, hella of your countrymen are dying.
It's because the world is a real life Mount Blade. That's what it is. Ever since the Viking days, it's real life Mount Blade because everybody wants power. You know, all these countries want the most power. Everybody wants to be number one. So Russia wants to wait for the US to see weakness. And if they see weakness, they'll take it over. Like everybody. America is the same shit. America's a bully. As much as I love America, America's gangsters. You know, we've been the biggest gangsters forever. And it's crazy. And like you said, eventually, like Rome is going to come down. It might not be in our lifetime, but it always happens.
I think, and that's true too. Nothing lasts forever. Whether it's like
we're just lucky that we're in the time that is powerful.
Yeah,
right?
like
just like the Ukraine president who in that meeting they had, I think it was today or yesterday, and he told Trump that, hey, you guys are gonna feel this in the future, and Trump is like, don't tell us what we're gonna feel. We're gonna feel good.
Yeah,
we're gonna feel good. Don't tell us. You're in no position. You know, I feel like the way, you know, having meetings like that, we never seen that.
I know.
Right. And
I feel like it's nice to see.
That's tight. Yeah, that's tight. But you also see how the president talks. Yeah. You see how the vice president talks. And these guys are kind of disrespectful, you know. I see where they're coming at like, hey, yeah, if it wasn't for the US, you'd be done for. And I understand that. But seeing it all in real time and everything, it's kind of crazy. You're not even telling them like, where's your suit? Like,
yeah, that part I don't think it matters. I don't think.
And them laughing and shit.
Yeah, I think it's just like banner, like it just shit to cause a laugh or whatever. But like I feel like having meetings like this in the open in front of cameras and shit, there's something good to that because there's nothing we don't never see shit like that. But it's also there's a lot of negatives because whenever something is said in front of others, and men tend to revert back to like primal shit where ego shit kicks in, and then you said this about me now, and now I'm upset, and it's on camera. You might say something you didn't, and then there's also the language barrier. Zelensky's English is not the best.
No,
so he's trying his best. He might use a word.
He didn't have a translator. You know, like, yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, Zelensky might use a word that. Comes close to what he's thinking about saying that might not fit or might sound a little bit like disrespectful. So you got to give him some type of little slack there because it's not his primary language. So he can't explain shit very, very detailed like he would want to. And you can tell that Vance felt a certain way and he was trying to, he was trying to like speak over him and, But
it seemed like Homie was talking too much. It seemed like the VP was talking way too much. It seemed like, you're not the president, bro. I get it, but you're not to let Trump do the talking. You know, he's the president, so let him talk. I want to hear Trump talk because you hear all this shit about how Trump handles meetings, how he's so fierce and shit like that. Let him talk then. You know, and it's like this is a 2-on-1 game.
I know,
just let him
you're
to
on
him.
Home territory.
Yeah,
too.
let him to him, man to man. Put him in the room. Put a camera, a 4K, and live stream that shit.
Yeah, but certain things shouldn't be discussed in the open.
No, I agree with that.
I feel like
part of this is good because we get to see how the president acts and treats other people.
Yeah, I kind of like I understand Zelensky's frustration because he wants securities. He wants the U.S. to give him guarantees that the shit's gonna actually last. What they're going to sign because he don't want to sign off. Let's say he gives them territory and there's no guarantees and then he just continues the war to keep pushing in. Like what the fuck did I did with the whole guarantee for? Like the treaty. Why the fuck we sign a treaty if it's not going to be honored when Putin has a record of breaking treaties, nonstop ceasefires and all that shit. So he wants guarantees. The U.S. doesn't want to. I think that's by what I watching the meeting. It sounds like the Trump doesn't want to give any guarantees right now, as like because it's a sensitive thing. You can't be try to like forcefully make this happen with Putin, because Putin is not. You never know. Like the U.S. doesn't want to go into a war with Russia. There's just more bodies are gonna fall, and it's gonna get fucking bad if the U.S. gets involved. But they wanna come to an agreement, but the only way you come into agreement is by being respectful, talking to each other, civilized. You can't, if you start bringing ego, you start talking shit. It's not gonna work. But Zelensky's hella mad, and he's calling him a terrorist and all this shit. And it's like, I understand that you hate this motherfucker, but you have to work with him. Otherwise, people are never gonna stop dying. And it's like your pride and all that shit. You got to throw all that shit away, because you're trying to save as many people as you can. And the only way you do it is by playing nice. As much as you don't, like, as men, you don't want to be a little bitch. You don't want to be freaking. You don't want to bite your tongue, but you need to in order to stop people from dying. You're gonna have to,
especially because he's on the losing side as far as like resources. He needs resources.
He don't have manpower.
Ukraine can't stand on his own.
No,
so and Russia can. So
and Trump told him, hey, if this doesn't work out, we're pulling out.
And he's like, and fight it out, huh?
Yeah, and fight it out and see what happens.
That's hella disrespectful.
And that's why I think certain things.
It's like you're calling me a bitch, right?
Yeah.
Like almost like abide by my rules or watch what's gonna happen. We'll pull out and you fucking figure it out. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, and it sounds disrespectful and all that shit, but it's like, what in your position, what can he do? What can Zelensky do? He can't do shit because you don't have, there's
and
nothing, you can't do nothing.
That's what I'm saying. It's all because we're the big boys. We're the numero uno, like that. But if in America was ever in that situation, and say it was flipped, we'd be asking for the same shit.
Yeah.
But because we're number one, we got the biggest balls. They behave with the biggest balls, talking shit, talking over people. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it should be respect. Like, things have changed. 100%. Things have changed when it comes to presidents, their form of speaking. Trump changed that. He got under a lot of people's skin. People started talking shit back. Trump started saying Hillary's emails, all that shit, and it became an entertainment show. And now it seemed like you see a bunch of, you don't know what's gonna happen, huh? With Trump in office, you don't know you don't know what you're gonna see, what's gonna be televised. He'll televise anything. He tweets and shit, so it's like, we don't know. It's a weird time to be alive. Some people are saying he barely been in. Like, I don't know how long he's been, and he can't. They're like, it feels like 3 years already. It feels like forever.
I don't know. I just, if he can end the killing, it'd be a big plus for him. A big plus.
Yeah, because I mean,
and it sucks I think Ukraine's gonna take the losing. Like, you're just gonna have to eat that losing. You're gonna have to take the L, whatever the amount of land you're gonna have to give up or whatever. You're gonna have to give it up. It's like you're just gonna have to. There's nothing you can do. You give it up so people stop dying. You take the L and you try to move on with the U.S. on good terms so that you can set yourself up in the future.
What do you think happens then if Ukraine can't negotiate a deal with the U.S. and says and get on their flexes their nuts too, like, fuck it, we'll fight it out then? They're gonna lose, huh? Eventually. But especially if America stops sending them money, right? But what happens then?
Russia eventually takes over the whole country at the cost of a shit ton of bodies. Zelensky and everyone would leave the country and go into somewhere like Poland or somewhere close. And then Russia would just have the control of the country.
They don't kill presidents?
If they get them.
Is that like the final thing? The final blow? Has they done that before? Pretty sure they have. But
yeah, well, Saddam and shit, like they killed Saddam, who was like in charge of Iraq and shit. He ran Iraq and for I don't know how many years, and then the U.S. came executed that motherfucker
on camera.
It was on camera?
They hung him. Remember?
I don't remember seeing it.
Hussein? Yeah, I seen the video. They hung him on camera.
Well, that's crazy. And he ran the country. So they do that. They'll do that. It's just never been a big boy country before.
A big enough one.
Yeah, because I mean, they would have fucked up Hitler if they caught him, but he killed himself.
People say that that's not even true. People say Hitler didn't die that day. There's like documentaries about that shit.
Like he didn't die, so then
With
what
like
happened?
with
He escaped to fucking Brazil or what?
No, there's with evidence of like people saying it's not possible for him to die, and then they investigate whatever. I don't know how much truth is into that, but it seemed like they were putting up a pretty good case. The people, I forgot, I was watching a long time ago. They're putting up a pretty good case that's saying that he didn't die that day. And, you know, the media painted it like a certain way.
Well, he's dead now, though.
Yeah, he's dead now.
But I don't know. I don't know what the hell is going to happen.
Thank you for listening to the AB podcast. You can follow us in the links below. All our social medias are linked there. If you want to buy some merch, the merch that we're usually wearing in the podcast, you can buy it as well. The link will be below.